Stop what you're doing, because the internet is completely divided over Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and Sean Hall. Just when everyone thought the Braxton family drama had finally cooled down, Tamar Braxton is once again at the center of a conversation that has fans questioning everything they thought they knew about Towanda Braxton. Old interviews featuring Tamar Braxton are suddenly going viral again. Wedding clips of Towanda Braxton and Sean Hall are being replayed millions of times. Every public appearance by Towanda Braxton is now being analyzed frame by frame, and social media can't stop asking the same question: what really happened between Tamar Braxton and Towanda Braxton? The timing couldn't be more shocking. As more viewers revisit old footage of Towanda Braxton and Sean Hall, some fans believe they see signs of growing distance within the family, while others insist the internet is reading far too much into ordinary moments. Meanwhile, every comment ever made by Tamar Braxton is being pulled back into the spotlight, fueling even more debate about Towanda Braxton, Sean Hall, and the future of the Braxton family. Is this simply another misunderstanding that social media has blown out of proportion, or is there a bigger story hiding behind years of public moments? Stay until the end, because the deeper this story goes, the more surprising the timeline becomes. The moment Tamar Braxton spoke openly about feeling disconnected from parts of her family, the internet immediately started connecting dots that had been debated for years. Within hours, clips featuring Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and Sean Hall were circulating across social media again, with fans dissecting every conversation, every interview, and every public appearance. Suddenly, moments that many viewers had forgotten were back in the spotlight, and the discussion surrounding Towanda Braxton became impossible to ignore. One clip after another began trending. Viewers revisited footage from Towanda Braxton's wedding celebrations, interviews featuring Towanda Braxton and Sean Hall, and scenes from the family's reality television appearances. Some fans argued they noticed tension that they hadn't seen before. Others strongly disagreed, pointing out that short viral clips rarely tell the full story. Regardless of which side people supported, one fact became obvious: Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and Sean Hall were once again dominating celebrity conversations online. What surprised many people wasn't just the renewed attention. It was how quickly every old interview involving Tamar Braxton became headline material again. Comments that had once been discussed briefly were suddenly being replayed thousands of times, with viewers debating whether Tamar Braxton had been expressing concern about growing family distance or simply describing ordinary sibling disagreements. Every sentence spoken by Tamar Braxton seemed to generate another wave of reactions. Meanwhile, clips featuring Towanda Braxton and Sean Hall also began spreading rapidly. Some viewers interpreted certain exchanges as playful humor between a married couple. Others felt the jokes came across awkwardly. Those different interpretations fueled endless debate, but none of them established what was actually happening behind the scenes. Instead, they demonstrated how differently audiences can interpret the same public moment. As more videos resurfaced, fans also revisited episodes showing conversations between Tamar Braxton and Towanda Braxton. Longtime viewers remembered that the sisters have publicly acknowledged disagreements over the years, often describing their relationship as complicated but deeply rooted in family history. Those scenes reminded audiences that tension within families is not unusual, especially when those families have spent years living in front of television cameras. Social media only intensified the discussion. Thousands of users posted side-by-side comparisons of interviews filmed years apart. Others created timelines attempting to track changes in the relationship between Tamar Braxton and Towanda Braxton. Some believed the sisters had gradually drifted apart because of life changes and personal priorities. Others argued the internet was building a dramatic narrative from unrelated moments. Then another public interview resurfaced. In that interview, Towanda Braxton spoke about protecting her peace and focusing on her own household. Those remarks immediately became the latest source of online debate. Some viewers interpreted them as healthy personal boundaries. Others wondered whether the comments reflected broader family challenges. Once again, there was no confirmed evidence supporting the more extreme theories circulating online, but that didn't stop speculation from spreading. Throughout the growing conversation, Tamar Braxton remained one of the most discussed figures. Fans revisited her interviews, her television appearances, and her past statements about family relationships. Supporters argued that Tamar Braxton has always been outspoken and emotionally honest. Critics believed viewers were placing too much weight on isolated comments without considering their original context. Even entertainment commentators joined the discussion. Some urged audiences not to confuse viral speculation with verified facts. Others noted that reality television often captures emotionally charged moments that don't represent an entire relationship. Those reminders, however, struggled to compete with the speed of social media, where dramatic interpretations often spread faster than careful analysis. By the end of the week, one thing had become clear. The conversation was no longer just about Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, or Sean Hall individually. It had become a much larger discussion about how quickly old television clips, interviews, and online commentary can be transformed into entirely new narratives. Then, just as the debate seemed to be slowing down, another resurfaced video involving Tamar Braxton began circulating across fan pages, and within hours, it completely reignited the discussion, leaving everyone wondering what would surface next. The newly resurfaced interview featuring Tamar Braxton spread across social media faster than anyone expected. Within hours, thousands of fan accounts had reposted the clip, each adding a different interpretation of what Tamar Braxton meant. Some viewers argued that Tamar Braxton had been trying to warn people that family relationships had become more complicated over time. Others insisted Tamar Braxton was simply describing the normal ups and downs that happen in many families. The same interview produced completely different conclusions depending on who was watching. As the clip continued gaining traction, Towanda Braxton also became the center of renewed attention. Fans revisited years of interviews featuring Towanda Braxton, looking for consistency in her comments about family, marriage, and personal growth. Every answer Towanda Braxton had given in past interviews suddenly felt like part of a larger timeline, even though those interviews had originally taken place in very different circumstances. Then Sean Hall entered the conversation once again. Public clips showing Sean Hall interacting with Towanda Braxton were reposted across multiple platforms. Some viewers described their exchanges as playful and humorous. Others believed certain moments came across awkwardly. Entertainment commentators reminded audiences that isolated clips rarely provide the full context of a relationship, but those reminders struggled to keep pace with the flood of online speculation. Meanwhile, supporters of Towanda Braxton pushed back strongly against the growing narrative. They argued that Towanda Braxton has repeatedly spoken about making decisions that she believes are best for her own life and that personal boundaries should not automatically be interpreted as evidence of family conflict. Fans defending Towanda Braxton emphasized that public appearances reveal only a small portion of someone's life. Supporters of Tamar Braxton, however, focused on the sister's long and well-documented history. They pointed out that Tamar Braxton has never hidden the fact that the Braxton family has experienced disagreements over the years. To those fans, Tamar Braxton's willingness to discuss difficult family dynamics made her comments feel authentic rather than surprising. Before long, reaction channels began uploading hour-long breakdowns comparing old reality television episodes with more recent interviews. Every conversation involving Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, or Sean Hall was examined frame by frame. Facial expressions, pauses, and even moments of silence became subjects of intense debate. While some creators encouraged viewers to avoid jumping to conclusions, others leaned heavily into dramatic interpretations, generating millions of views in the process. The online discussion soon expanded beyond the original clips. Comment sections filled with people sharing their own experiences about siblings growing apart after marriage or major life changes. Others argued that reality television often magnifies ordinary disagreements because cameras capture emotional moments instead of everyday life. The stories surrounding Tamar Braxton and Towanda Braxton had become larger than the interviews themselves. It had evolved into a conversation about family, privacy, and the influence of social media. Even longtime followers of the Braxton family admitted that separating confirmed information from internet speculation had become increasingly difficult. A single edited clip could spread across dozens of pages before anyone traced it back to its original source. That made context more important than ever, yet context was often the first thing lost once short videos began circulating. Throughout the debate, neither Tamar Braxton nor Towanda Braxton publicly confirmed many of the dramatic claims circulating online. Instead, much of the conversation was driven by fans interpreting publicly available interviews and television footage. That distinction became increasingly important as rumors continued to spread faster than verified information. Entertainment journalists also weighed in, reminding audiences that celebrity families frequently face public scrutiny that can amplify ordinary disagreements into headline news. In the case of Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and Sean Hall, the combination of years of reality television, podcast interviews, and viral social media clips created an environment where nearly every old moment could be reframed as something new. Still, the public fascination showed no signs of slowing down. As hashtags continued trending, another previously overlooked interview involving Towanda Braxton suddenly resurfaced. Unlike the earlier clips, this conversation sparked fresh debate because viewers believed it shed new light on how Towanda Braxton viewed family relationships and personal boundaries. Within hours, fan pages were once again divided over what her comments actually meant. Whether the interview truly changed the story or simply reignited the same questions remained unclear. But one thing was certain, the renewed attention surrounding Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and Sean Hall was far from over, and the next wave of public reaction promised to intensify the discussion even further. As the conversation continued to spread across social media, one thing became impossible to ignore: the story had grown far beyond any single interview or television episode. Every time Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, or Sean Hall appeared in an old clip, thousands of viewers arrived with completely different interpretations. Some believed the videos showed nothing more than a family navigating complicated relationships in the public eye. Others remained convinced there was a deeper story, even though no new verified evidence had emerged. That divide became the biggest headline of all. Supporters of Tamar Braxton argued that she has always been open about the challenges that come with family dynamics and living so much of life in front of cameras. Supporters of Towanda Braxton countered that setting boundaries and prioritizing marriage or personal well-being should not automatically be treated as evidence of conflict. The result was a debate that said as much about internet culture as it did about the Braxton family. Meanwhile, entertainment commentators pointed out how quickly short clips can lose their original context once they are shared across multiple platforms. A brief exchange that lasted only a few seconds in a longer interview could suddenly become the focus of countless reaction videos, each offering a different interpretation. That cycle is common in celebrity news, where old footage often resurfaces and takes on an entirely new meaning years later. Throughout the discussion, fans continued revisiting memorable moments involving Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and the rest of the Braxton family. Some remembered emotional conversations from reality television. Others highlighted interviews where the sisters spoke about love, forgiveness, and the challenges of maintaining close relationships while living under constant public attention. Those moments reminded many viewers that family stories are rarely simple. As more reactions poured in, one consistent message emerged from many longtime followers: no matter how much public footage exists, viewers can only see a small portion of anyone's life. Reality television, interviews, podcasts, and social media all capture moments, not complete relationships. While those moments can spark discussion, they don't necessarily tell the whole story. Even so, interest in the Braxton family remains incredibly strong. Every new interview, podcast appearance, or television project attracts attention because audiences have followed the family for years and feel invested in their journey. That familiarity is one reason old clips continue to resurface whenever a new conversation begins. For now, many of the questions circulating online remain unanswered. Neither Tamar Braxton nor Towanda Braxton has confirmed the more dramatic theories that continue to spread across social media, leaving much of the online conversation rooted in interpretation rather than verified fact. Until new public information becomes available, those theories remain exactly that, speculation. Perhaps the biggest takeaway from the entire discussion is how quickly the internet can transform familiar moments into fresh headlines. One resurfaced interview can reignite years-old debates. One viral clip can introduce an entirely new audience to a story that longtime fans thought had already run its course. In today's media landscape, celebrity conversations rarely end, they simply evolve. Whether viewers ultimately side with Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, or reserve judgment altogether, the renewed attention demonstrates how powerful public perception can be. It also serves as a reminder that separating confirmed information from online speculation is more important than ever. And with the Braxton family continuing to make public appearances and share pieces of their lives, it's likely the conversation will continue. Until then, fans will keep watching, discussing, and revisiting the moments that first drew them into the story, while waiting to see whether any future interviews provide new, verifiable insight into the family's evolving relationships. If you've made it this far, then you've seen why the conversation surrounding Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and Sean Hall continues to spark so much debate. Now we want to hear from you. After watching everything, what's your take on Tamar Braxton, Towanda Braxton, and the reactions surrounding Sean Hall? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the discussion. If you enjoy celebrity news, reality TV updates, and deep dives into the biggest stories making headlines, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Every week we break down the latest celebrity conversations, viral moments, and entertainment news you don't want to miss. Stay tuned, because our next video covers another headline that's already getting people talking.